of a nation, let peace reign. On the news this evening, Governor Fubara swears in new charges dam to be bold. Peace advocate raises concern over readiness for October Rivers LG polls. Stakeholders set agenda for new Rivers Commissioner of Police. IGP directs restriction of movement in Edo State ahead of election tomorrow. President Tinubu calls for peaceful conduct in Edo governorship elections. On the foreign scene, Israel's military investigates soldiers filmed throwing dead Palestinians off rooftop. I am Kalada Kurubatwa. We will go for a quick commercial. When we come back, the news in detail. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says he believes that the current political situation will lead to a rebirth of the political process in the state. Governor Fubara said this while swearing in 8 new state high court judges at the Government House, Port Harcourt today. He commended the judiciary for the roles they have played so far. Governor Fubara also said he has never asked any judge for a favor. He, however, charged them to be bold in the discharge of their duties. Correspondent Yekachin also reports that newly sworn-in judges are Justices Frank Onviri, Victor Ugoji, Godswill Vidal Obomanu, Rita Chituru Ogugwo, Alatuo Elkana Fubara, Barivima Kupan, Leslie Wifa Adedipe, and Ibietela Innocent Madigi Obu. Now, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs and State for Petroleum, Henry Ajumogobia, and other dignitaries attended the ceremony. Moving on, as the 5th October local government election in Rivers State nears, peace advocate Obinna Egbogidi has expressed deep concern over the absence of electoral activities. Mr. Egbogidi, the convener of Rivers Peace Initiative, told correspondent Soibi Oruwari that it is alarming that less than 2 weeks before the elections, many voters are still unaware of the candidates vying for key positions. Mr. Egbogidi also called on the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission (RESEC) to improve its communication and engagement with the public regarding the electoral process. He noted transparency and involvement as key to a free and fair election.
My first major concern is the lack of visibility and campaign activity. It is an anomaly. With less than 3 weeks remaining before the elections, there is a troubling lack of visibility of key political candidates. The absence of candidate engagements and public campaigns impedes the electorate's ability to make informed decisions. It's quite sad that up until now, Rivers people are yet to see those who are going to be flying the flags of their political parties and for their respective local government. The apparent silence from the electoral umpire raises questions about the readiness and integrity of the electoral process itself. We've had rumors of candidates in position. RISEC needs to implement public awareness campaigns, of course in partnership with the civil society, which I see has been quite sidelined in the build-up to this election. The Electoral Commission must provide regular updates about the electoral process, transparency about election preparations, candidate vetting, and any measures to address rumors of imposition is vital to restoring public confidence.
The peace advocate also criticized the lack of internal democracy within various political parties and blamed it on RISEC's failure to adequately monitor party activities.
We have received alarming reports of insufficient or non-transparent party primaries, which are fundamental to democratic representation. Without proper primaries, the legitimacy of the candidates and the overall electoral process is actually called into question. Sadly, we have also seen limited civil society involvement. The role of civil society in monitoring and ensuring electoral fairness appears to be diminishing in the build-up to this all-important election. Civil society organizations play a crucial role in fostering transparency and accountability.
Elsewhere, the Edo State Resident Electoral Commissioner Anugbomo Noah has challenged political parties to present any evidence questioning his competence ahead of the governorship election tomorrow. Speaking in an interview on Channels Television, Mr. Onowa stated that he is capable of conducting a free and fair election in Edo State. This comes after Edo PDP chairman Tony Aziagbemi requested Mr. Onowa's removal due to his alleged ties with FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, expressing doubts he will ensure a free and fair election. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has urged all stakeholders in the Edo governorship election to conduct themselves peacefully. In a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, he charged everyone to respect the democratic process and the people's will. President Tinubu also urged security agencies and INEC to be professional, to remain impartial, and to avoid any actions that could compromise the integrity of the electoral process. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbotuku, has directed the restriction of all forms of transportation from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the election day in Edo State. In a statement, the force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi said the directive is to ensure adequate measures are put in place for peaceful, transparent, and credible elections. In another development, as the new Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Olufemi Abaniwanda, assumes office, a security expert, Efe Wanogo, has urged him to take actions that will tackle crime regardless of who is involved. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otukam, Mr. Wanogo urged the new CP to prioritize all issues related to insecurity to gain public trust.
It should be very proper for him to take action that address crime. All issues bordering on insecurity in the state should be treated. Of course, there are black spots in every situation, every state. I pray that as he comes, he will go through the files of the state. He will know those cases that are before them, the black spots, the flash points, and people that have been profiled already as troublesome elements, and he will chip in, depending on the progress of the already existing investigation. He will take action to be able to close them out, not minding whose ox is gone. That is the very critical thing.
He also emphasized the importance of political neutrality from the Commissioner and his officers.
I think it is very important seeing somebody who just arrived before and due to the proximity of the pending election, local government election, we have to immediately take actions that will portray him as a neutral individual and a neutral institution, being the leader of the Nigerian police force in the state. It is very important the police took a different position. So for me, neutrality, political neutrality will be key for the CP, for him to be able to deliver on his mandate and for him to be acceptable to the citizens of the state.
Also, civil rights activist Dimwa Dumka has called on the new commissioner of police to prioritize serving the people over the interest of few individuals. Mr. Dumka added that the upcoming October the 5th local government election will be a key test of the commissioner's political neutrality.
As Commissioner of Police should not come to Rivers State and work for any political party. The Commissioner of Police should not come to Rivers State and work for either APC or PCC or LDP or APC. The Commissioner of Police should train the citizens of Rivers. There should be peace in Rivers State. If anybody wants to cause any tension because of the local government election coming up in Rivers State, the Commissioner of Police should start to cry and work for the citizens of Rivers State.
A quick commercial break, but still to come. NAFDAC shuts Maiduguri drug market as traders resell contaminated drugs. To stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back. Now, the rest of the newscast. In Damsey, Jodrell has debunked a radio announcement by some persons he says are insinuating that there is a court order stopping the burial of his late father, Pastor Jodrell, in Sirimovu, Amadi this Saturday. This was disclosed in a statement for the family by Mr. Jodrell, stating that he is late Pastor George's first son and chief mourner. He asked family and friends and the general public to disregard the announcement, which he said was from mischievous people and groups who do not wish his family well and those who do not want his late father to be laid to rest after over a year in the mortuary. The statement said, contrary to the announcement and plans, the burial of late Pastor Jodrell in Sirimovu, Amadi will be held this Saturday, 21st September, in their family compound in Mboba as planned. In other news, residents of some streets in Mile 3 Dio, Port Harcourt, have expressed concern about the danger posed by falling high-tension wires from electrical poles in the area. They told our correspondent that despite alerting the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHEDC, no official has visited the area, leaving them worried for their safety. The residents called on the PHEDC to fix the issue, noting that it is their responsibility when it is not as a result of vandalism or sabotage.
On Tuesday here, there was a furious raindrop. Do you know that a pole fell and destroyed a vehicle that was there? Up to today, PHED has not come to rectify the lightning problem that we have because the wire is littered everywhere in the ground. It's very, very dangerous. An old woman fell down on the ground where she was dodging the wire.
If you come there, you will see wire on the road everywhere, and children is playing and all that, so it's at risk to everybody living there, all the residents there.
The high tension fell down since how many days ago, and that thing is very, very dangerous. Had it been somebody that have died now, is that when they would have come and fixed the lights? We are calling on them to please come and fix this light for us.
Because it's high tension and the thing is causing problem in the streets. Vehicles cannot drive, children cannot play there, and we have schools around, we have churches, night program, and also on and so forth.
Our correspondent who visited the area reports that the affected streets include Wokoma Lane, Ovim, Dim, Ewagu, Ekwe, parts of Obaziolu, and National. PHEDC is yet to speak in this. Moving on. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has shut down the Gomboru drug market in Maiduguri, Borno State, after traders sold dried drugs for resale. In a post on its X handle, NAFDAC said it follows the recent flooding that submerged the market and contaminated the drugs. The agency said it will conduct a thorough shop-to-shop removal of the drugs. Recall that at least 30 people died and over 400,000 displaced following the Maiduguri flood. We go for another quick commercial. When we come back, we will take a look at the international scene. To stay tuned. Now looking at the international scene, Israel's military has launched an investigation after its soldiers were filmed throwing the bodies of 3 dead Palestinians off a rooftop during a raid in the occupied West Bank. Footage also shows an Israeli bulldozer removing the bodies, sparking widespread outrage. The Israel Defense Forces called it a serious incident that does not align with its values. Under international law, soldiers are obliged to ensure the bodies, including those of enemy fighters, are treated with respect. A recap of the stories on the news this evening. You heard Governor Fubara has sworn in new High Court judges. Stakeholders have set agenda for the new Rivers Commissioner of Police. IGP has directed restriction of movement in Edo State ahead of election tomorrow. On foreign scene, Israel's military is investigating soldiers filmed throwing dead Palestinians off a rooftop. The news was edited by Constance Iroele Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Koruvatabo. Good evening, to stay tuned.